Folks, how you doing? How you feeling? Welcome to this week's episode of Search and Report. I am your host, Drew Fernie, and today, first off, sorry I missed last week, and I believe I missed the week before that. It's been a couple hectic weeks with work. As y'all know, I'm going full time being a freelancer, creative, slash all that sort of stuff. So I've been very busy with projects, very busy traveling. But it feels good, man. Feels good to be back on that creative saddle. I need to stop using that term. I don't know if it's even like a common term, but whatever. It is what it is. But today, this week, I want to talk about a few things. It's been a hectic news week for sure. But first, I'm gonna go straight in what I have been playing. I've been playing a lot of Mario Kart World. First off, the Nintendo Switch 2, it's one of my best, if not my favorite, Nintendo console of all time. Been able to take such a powerful and beefy mobile gaming device on the road, especially now that I'm traveling for work, has been a game changer, man. It's just amazing. Like it's I don't know how I used to live without being able to take my games and just gaming in general with me. Like I guess you had 3DS, you had Game Boys and whatnot, PSPs, but being able to play HD versions of some of the best games, AAA games, first party games on the go is just amazing. It's just been blowing my mind ever since the Switch one. So it's been a blessing, and I've been playing on the road mostly Mario Kart World. If you haven't seen, check out my review on Mario Kart World. There's been a few updates to the game that kind of really brought it down a few pegs for me. Like not being able to choose is one of my biggest complaints. Not being able to race when you're playing multiplayer, just a course, just 3 laps on a course. It just boggles my mind. Like, why can't we just pick the courses? I understand Nintendo's really trying so hard to make people understand this is a well-connected world. This is a connected world. You can go from course to course. I get it. Leave that for Knockout Tour. When we're doing regular races, there should be an option just to select the 3 lap races. I just don't understand why we have to travel from course to course and only do 1 lap at the end of each race, so to speak. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't like it. It's my biggest complaint now that I probably have like 50 hours of Mario Kart World at this point. It's my biggest complaint about that game. I don't understand why Nintendo did that. I just don't. I just don't. But besides that, I've unlocked all the character costumes. I have yet to unlock one of the characters that you only get by literally being affected by Kamek's item or whatever it is. It's so dumb that that's the only way you can unlock it. It doesn't make any sense because just let me use that character. Just let me unlock it by my own merit. I don't understand. Like it's really silly. So there are a few things that I kind of feel. Now I don't want to say my review is now dated because I still think is one of the best, if not the best, Mario Kart in existence. Right next to Mario Kart 8, obviously Deluxe and Double Dash, but still, I don't know, man. These things just really put kind of tainted my outlook and my appreciation for this game. It's really, really disappointing from Nintendo. Fans were telling Nintendo, hey, we want the ability just to choose the 3 laps on every course. What does Nintendo do? Take away that ability altogether. Because there used to be like a workaround, a little loophole when you're playing multiplayer, that if you selected a random course when the selection screen came up, that course would be a 3 lap course. Nintendo patched that out. Don't understand why. Why would you? It's just this attitude of like, no, you're gonna play the game how we want you to play the game, and I don't understand. It's one of my biggest complaints about Nintendo. Sometimes because they'll do that sort of stuff, and then they'll give us games like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, where it's quite literally you can play the game however you like. Doesn't make any sense. Really confusing, but whatever. We move on. The other game that I've been playing a lot of Wind Waker. Ever since we got the GameCube NSO, I've been replaying The Wind Waker, man, it's got to be up there, top three Zelda games for me. It's got to be Breath of the Wild up there, Majora's Mask, and Wind Waker. I'm sorry, Twilight Princess, but just Wind Waker has that. I don't know. It's that charm, but it also has that wonder of an open world, like a truly open world, so to speak. Being able to go from island to island, exploring the seas. Yeah, it's kind of barren. It is Hyrule being flooded, but still, it's really fun. I love the art style. At first, when it first came out, yes, I was alive when it came out. I'm that old. I wasn't a big fan. I was one of those nerds that complained about the art style, saying that it looked too kiddish, and that I preferred, more of the look of Twilight Princess, more that realistic look. Now, playing it back, Wind Waker has just aged gracefully, even more than Twilight Princess, because I'm also replaying Twilight Princess on through other methods. Um, sorry, I'm a little sick. Um, But yeah, I've been replaying it. Just the only complaint that I have about the NSO app is that it doesn't have enough games. But we did get actually today is the release of Mario Kart, not Mario Kart, Mario Strikers for the GameCube, which I do want to check out. But besides that, like I never got the opportunity to play the Wind Waker HD, which I know there were a lot of great upgrades to, life of quality upgrades, like the fast sale. I believe they kind of made the search of the Triforce shards a little easier and a little less tedious, which I do appreciate because right now I found all the charts and now I gotta interpret them, pay to get them interpreted by Tingle, and then go and look for those shards every single, around the whole world. So it is a little tedious, but at the same time, I don't really mind it. It's another step to completing the game, in my opinion. I can see how it can be tedious if you replay this game every other year. So, yeah, that's what I've been mostly playing. And as well, I have been checking out the Street Fighter 6 version, the Street Fighter 6 Switch 2 version. Can't speak. It's good, man. I did play this game when it first came out originally on the PS5, and I wasn't a huge fan of it. Like, don't get me wrong, Street Fighter, side scroll 2Ds fighting games are fun and all. But I don't know. I feel like I've lost that window of trying to either become really good at that game, those types of games, where to the point that I feel like that threshold, that learning curve is way too high for me right now. I've played, obviously Smash Bros all my life. And even that, if I were to go into Smash Bros today, I can see how newer fans could have an issue trying to pick up that game, trying to master the game. It is a little bit hard. Now, specifically Street Fighter 6, I don't know, it just feels a little like slow and clunkish to me. It's fun. Like, don't get me wrong, it works great on the Switch too. It obviously doesn't look as good as a PS5, which is a shame. They really touted the Switch 2 as being this powerhouse, at least being as powerful as a PS4 or as PS4 Pro. But still, you can tell that it's a Switch version of a better looking game on other consoles. But I'm going through the story mode. I haven't really checked out online game mode because, again, I'm really competitive and I'm really afraid that that's going to really deter me from enjoying the game because I know there's people that are way more experienced at that game currently than me. So I kind of want to hold off until I really have a good grasp of everything within that game. But so far, I've been enjoying it. Really like the characters, really like the art style. It's really goofy. It has that Capcom goofiness to it. Obviously, at this point, Capcom voiceover in English is a meme. Like, it's ridiculous. It's really silly. I I neither hate it nor love it. It's just like, oh, it's a goofy ass game. That's it. But I've been enjoying it so far. It's a good game to pick up and kind of like play for like 30 minutes, an hour, and then put it down again. It hasn't sucked me in like, Wind Waker does. But that's essentially what I've been playing. I'm really excited now for DK Bonanza. I saw the stream. Well, I saw my good. I guess I can call him buddy at this point. AJ from Watch Redirect, he streamed when I was actually working the Donkey Kong Bonanza Direct, and I'm really excited for that game, man. I now that it's been confirmed that Super Mario Odyssey team is working on this game, is the team behind this game. It's just it increased the hypeness for me. So really excited for that. I cannot wait for July. What is it, 17th? Not mistaken, right? Because yeah, that's a Thursday. So we'll see. We'll see. It's just very exciting. I think that Nintendo kind of started off really slow with the Nintendo Switch 2 in terms of like first party games, because a lot of it was just things ported over from the Switch 1. Again, I'm not complaining. Backwards compatibility has been amazing. It's great exploring games the way that they were meant to be played, with better performance. But, in essence, we did get a handful of Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive games. And I hope that Nintendo doesn't fall in that trap that I feel PlayStation has fallen, which is being held back by trying to make every game work on the PS5 and the PS4. PS4. That's what I'm calling the PS4. Both the PS4 4 and the PS4 Pro. The PS4. The PS4. um, because you give developers a limit. You can't really develop to a specific console and really explore all the capabilities of that console, because you still got to make the game compatible with the older console. I hope that's not what Nintendo is pushing for to its developers for the Nintendo Switch 2, which again, I don't believe that's going to be the case, because we are getting Donkey Kong Bonanza, which is if I'm not mistaken, an exclusive Nintendo Switch 2 game, but it kind of started off on muddy ground. It's kind of like, it's got to get out from that kind of sluggish start. It started with a punch, but really soon, like, it's been almost a month since we got in the Switch 2, and I kind of like, I don't want to say I've grown tired of Mario Kart World, but I feel like I've already explored all of it. And I'm like, okay, what's the next exclusive Switch 2 game that I can explore, So hopefully DK Bonanza is that, and it marks the future, which again, people have been releasing their gameplays, their hands-on videos on Nintendo Live. I saw that one, Skill Up, and everybody's singing its praises. So I'm very, very excited for that. And I feel like we're going to get a Mario Odyssey level type of game in DK Bonanza. But without further ado, folks, let's get straight into our first news item of the week. This one is a big one, and it's Nintendo related. So here we have IGN reporting that Nintendo's ability to ban Switch 2 consoles from online services kind of landed them in very much legal trouble, specifically in Brazil. Here, IGN reports Tom Phillips, Nintendo's ability to ban Switch 2 consoles from accessing all online features is coming under fire from Brazil's consumer rights watchdog, which has now launched a legal challenge. Brazilian authorities have argued that Nintendo's recently updated user agreement, which grants the company the ability to vastly limit any Switch 2 console's functionality, violates users' rights to access services they have paid for. Procon SP, Sao Paulo's Office of Brazil's Public Consumer Protection and Defense Program, has now requested that Nintendo ditch this clause from its user agreement. There's been reports of Switch 2 consoles being banned from accessing online services, which have reportedly surfaced since the platform's launch. Users impacted by the issue have suggested the bans are tied to the usage of flash memory cards, and specifically the MIG Switch device, which can enable game piracy. But at least one user has now reported buying a secondhand Switch 2 from a major retailer with the ban in place, prompting fears that more banned consoles will end up in the hands of new owners. And according to accounts from users with banned consoles, Nintendo customer support has said the block is permanent. This is concerning for a few reasons. Again, I'm not condoning game piracy. It is stealing, in my opinion. I don't want to get into the nitty gritty of legal jargon and legal, definitions. But in essence, you being able to play a game without paying for it, you are stealing that game. Because if the game is available to purchase, there's no reason for you to steal it because it's stealing. It's theft. I don't care what it is. But at the same time, I do understand the concerns from the consumer. Obviously, people are going to be buying secondhand Switches pretty soon. I mean, they're already started, but it's going to come in droves. First, you got that wave of people that return the console saying that it's not what I wanted. I don't. I guess you can call it like buyer's remorse. And again, you never know what people have used the Switch, the console for. And whoever gets that console later, by no fault of their own, they get punished. So I understand that side of things. Um, it is particularly concerning that Nintendo kind of just does this as a blanket punishment. It doesn't necessarily look at a case to case basis. Saying that it's permanent is probably the most concerning part of this. Again, a company being able to break your console like that remotely is also a little concerning. We've sort of given up in the tech space with phones, with personal computers, laptops, now gaming. Because it seems that everything is portable nowadays. We've kind of given up that liberty. I don't want to say liberty. We've kind of given up a lot of permissions to the manufacturers of said consoles to the point where, yes, I understand. It doesn't feel like you own the console. You've paid for the product, you have it in your hands, but the company still has its hands over it in a way. It's this very slippery slope of, yes, do you want to give, full freedom to use your console however people want, but at the same time you got to kind of protect yourself from, reports of piracy or whatever it may be, tampering and whatnot. But at the same time, you also have the DIY, consumer rights protections, being able to fix things that you've bought. What do they call it? Right to repair, sort of stuff. They're intermingled in a way as well. So it's this very difficult topic to really tackle from a neutral position because people are gonna have thoughts regardless. I just don't think that these bans should be permanent. I think they should be placed on not the console, but the account tied to that console. And again, if there's reports of someone that, hey, for example, I bought the Switch 2, it already came bricked. It should be a reversible process, in my opinion. There's no reason for someone who had nothing to do with the reason why that console doesn't work anymore or is bricked. It just doesn't make any sense, especially if you're a paying consumer to a online subscription. Why are you punishing the people that aren't doing anything wrong? Again, doing blanket punishments like this is really counterintuitive to Nintendo's kind of like whole play it anywhere. You can play it with everyone sort of thing because not everybody's situation is the same. But we'll have to see. I mean, this is going to be very uh, um, interesting to see. Apparently, Procon SP statement says that Nintendo America said it will respond in 20 days, within 20 days of this being reported, which was reported literally this morning. So I guess we'll see in 20 days what Nintendo has to do. Hopefully they reverse this course of action because I feel it's a little bit too harsh for the crime being committed, and especially for the people that are not the ones committing said I don't even want, I guess, crime in a sense. I don't know. Again, don't want to get into the political discussion of it. Our next news item topic is another very depressing one, and I am sort of getting tired of companies, and especially gaming and tech companies, feeling so comfortable doing this so often. But Microsoft has cut 9,000 jobs. Here, Bloomberg reports that Microsoft makes steep job cuts across the Xbox division and cancels games while they're at it, just to add insult to injury. Hundreds of people were laid off as the company canceled upcoming games such as Perfect Dark and Everwild. No, No, Bloomberg, I'm not paying for your thing. Here, Jason Schreier, a great reporter in the gaming space, says that Microsoft Core's gaming division laid off hundreds of employees on Wednesday, part of a broader culling at the software company as it seeks to control costs. An Xbox spokesperson declined to confirm how many people were impacted, but the cuts were widespread and significant. Subsidiaries across the gaming organization were told that they would be affected by the layoffs. Microsoft's Stockholm-based King division, which makes Candy Crush, is cutting 10% of its staff, or about 200 jobs, according to people familiar with the plans. Other European offices, such as ZeniMax, also began cutting employees early Wednesday, said the people, who asked not to be identified because they were not authorized to speak to the press. News of further job cuts trickled out slowly as other units of Microsoft Gaming, such as Call of Duty Studios, Raven Software, and Sledgehammer Games, as well as Halo Studios and Forza Motorsport developer Turn 10 Studios, also announced workforce reductions, according to the people familiar. The company has now canceled several projects that had been in development for years, including the fantasy game Everwild, in development at UK-based Rare Studio, and an original new online game from ZeniMax Online Studios, the maker of the Elder Scrolls Online. Both of these studios will cut jobs as a result of the cancellation. Xbox has also canceled the planned reboot Perfect Dark, which, this is my own personal opinion, I'm very sad about, and shuttered the initiative, one of the studios behind it. In an email to staff, Xbox Game Studios head Matt Booty said that the studio shutdown and project cancellations reflect a broader effort to adjust priorities and focus resources to set up our teams for greater success within a changing industry landscape. Editorial: these motherfuckers are dumb and they're just trying to make shareholders happy. Come on. Microsoft announced Wednesday that it's eliminating 9,000 workers company-wide in its second wave of layoffs this year. The cuts will have an impact across teams, geographies, and tenure, and are being made in an effort to streamline processes and reduce layers of management, a company spokesperson said. The terminations followed an earlier round of 6,000 job cuts in May that fell hardest on product and engineering positions. The division had about 20,000 employees as of January 2024. These are just the gaming departments. It's really disheartening, as someone who really likes this industry and someone who really has strived to work for this industry, in this industry, to see just how little people truly care, these companies truly care about workers and workers' rights, and like just in general, just they don't care about workers. It's really depressing. And again, I hate to get on this sort of like diatribe of older generations had it easier, man. Because back in the day, you could be at a company for 30, 40 years. Loyalty was rewarded. You got a pension. And now, companies that are doing great, by the way, let's be honest, Microsoft has a surplus of money. They're not hurting for money. If I'm not mistaken, they had like a 19% or something like that profit recently. They've been acquiring studios left and right for billions of dollars. They're not hurting for money. And yet they do these things and they throw this corporate mumbo jumbo about saying that we're setting up our teams for greater success within a changing industry landscape. Nothing is changing. The only thing you're changing is the way you treat people and the way you treat workers, and especially senior workers. Like, this isn't like we're getting rid of contractors and like people that aren't really necessarily full-time employees with the company. No, these are people who have been with the company for quite some time. It's depressing. And then you also hear news about Phil Spencer is soon retiring from his position, and he's still getting like a hefty payout for retiring. Like it irks me to my core how much we've normalized this sort of news and how much that we continue to accept it, and we don't strive to change these attitudes and change the industry. There's a reason why we have weekends. There's a reason why the 40-hour week exists. There's a reason behind all that. And as strikes, worker strikes, worker protections, unions. And it just it baffles me that this new generation of workers in the workforce, that we've been so conditioned and sort of kind of brainwashed to think that these are just that's just how it is. That's just it is what it is. No, man, like workers are the ones who create the value in these companies. Believe me, Phil Spencer and all these shareholders, they're not the ones making the games. They're not the ones making Banjo. They're not the ones making Halo. They're not the ones actually creating that product that gives a company its value. And there's two different outcomes to this thing. One, hopefully, is the one that I hope that happens, is that workers unionize, that the industry takes unionization seriously, and it actually does something to protect the workers within this industry. It is one of the most profitable, if not the most profitable entertainment industry in America, in the US, probably in the world. It's been on an uprise. Like if you see spending in entertainment, gaming has been on a constant uphill. Like it's been nonstop growth for gaming. You have film, which has been struggling since probably like 2000s, 2010s. You got TV going through the same thing. But gaming continues to like outshine them all, and it's not stopping. But yet it feels like it's the only industry that does this sort of stuff. Just cuts 10,000 jobs almost or more in a year. That is insane to me, bro. That is crazy to me. I understand bloat is a thing. I would understand like, yeah, we're, getting rid of this department and like 20 or so people are going to be affected, but 9,000 workers just like that in like just an email is not okay. It's not sign of a healthy environment. It's not a sign of a healthy, it's a failure of management. It's a failure of the owners of these companies, and it is essentially a draining of value of these companies for the shareholders, for whoever is trying to get money out of this. They're literally draining these companies dry by doing these sort of things. The employees are not the ones draining it because they're actually putting value for that paycheck. They're putting value towards the company. They're building the company's value up. But you got these hedge funds, you got these shareholders that just come in and all they want is take away the value, take away the money, take away everything that makes this good, and then just hoarding that wealth. That's the issue right there. And it pisses me off so much, man, that a lot of people just don't do anything. I don't work in the industry, but believe me, I'll be there in the front lines if I was affected, trying to get this thing going. Because it only takes one person, man. And I hope that one person is getting their ducks in a row, because this is not the way that workers should be treated. Let me get off my soapbox now. Let me get back into the news. But this is very depressing. Very, very depressing, to be honest. And I really do feel for um I feel for the people that have been affected. I really do feel for them. But at the same time, like it's everybody from junior to senior. More on this topic. Nintendo Live here reports that there's been an update, that VGC is now reporting that Banjo-Kazooie director and Donkey Kong Country designer Greg Mayles has left Rare over 35 years at the company. It's a huge blow to the Microsoft-owned studio and is thought to have left after the cancellation of Everwild. Louise O'Connor, executive producer and art designer who worked on Conker's Bad Fur Day and Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, has also left, according to sources who have spoke to VGC. Will Overton, video magazine artist and longtime Rare collaborator, was also working at Everwild and is currently seeking work following the game's cancellation. It's so insane to me that people who have been with the company for so long and created these products, these IPs that give so much value to your brand, are treated this way. Believe me, nobody's going to remember Phil Spencer because he created something. He's just the face of a company. people are going to remember the people who created Banjo-Kazooie, the people who directed Perfect Dark, the people who came up with the art style for Sea of Thieves. Those are the people that are actually creating the value behind that company. The workers. It's just a blow to every single. It's disappointing, especially as someone who, as I already said, has been wanting to work in this industry for quite some time. Is looking grim. I don't know where I would fit in this sort of stuff, and I don't know if I want to work in a place where you get laid off by just a wide email, just a widespread email. No, 9,000 people affected. That's insane, but whatever. Now, let's go into something more. Actually, it's not any better. God, this week with news has sucked, man. It's been a terrible week for news. I'm not gonna lie. But let's go into our third news item of the week, and this is that Furukawa and Nintendo finally gave a defense of game key cards. Right off the bat, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. I don't necessarily like game key cards. I think that they're a little redundant. I think that they shouldn't even be a thing. Like if the game doesn't fit in a cartridge, just put it digitally. I understand there's a huge like physical community that people like physical video games. I understand that. I'm one of them. Almost all of my Nintendo Switch 1 games are physical. But I would much prefer not to have companies create waste in plastic just for a little cartridge it's just a digital download, you know? That's my only concern. That's the only thing I don't like, and yeah. But we finally got word from Nintendo, so officially. Nintendo Life Heal. God, man. Nintendo Life here reports that Nintendo has today published a transcript of its 85th annual general meeting of shareholders, in which company president Shintaro Furukawa has asked to comment on the Switch 2's game keycard releases. Unsurprisingly, he came to the defense of the format. Equally unsurprisingly, we're still not convinced. Again, these companies are going to do what they're going to do, man. I don't... Off topic, but I don't understand a lot of gamers' parasocial relationships with gaming companies. I feel like a lot of people see Nintendo as a person and they personify it, and they always expect them to act in goodwill when they are just a multi-billion-dollar company. I've never understood that connection that people have with gaming companies. Like it'd be a little weird, for example, for people to be upset that, I don't know, Universal released a film or did something. It's a movie studio. Like it's a company. It's an like it's a corporation. Like, why are you upset? It's one thing to be upset. It's another thing to be like heartbroken. I don't get it, but whatever. As highlighted in Blue Sky by Oatmeal Dome, the topic arose from one shareholder's announcement to the Nintendo directors that they have concerns about the game keycard format. They say, I've seen opinions on the internet saying that game keycards are unappealing. I'm concerned that if third-party titles using game keycards don't sell well, it will discourage third parties from supporting the Switch 2. It is a fair comment, particularly given the discourse around the third-party Switch 2 sales in the recent weeks. But Furukawa dodged the issue like a pro. We introduced the game keycard because game file sizes are larger on the Switch 2 compared to the Switch 1. We have various ways to distribute games on the Switch 2, and we are working with our third-party partners to ensure their support for our platform. Again, I don't understand the reason behind game keycards. I understand you're trying to make the games available in many formats, but at that point, like, I feel you're just doing yourself a disservice as a company by trying to appeal to both like physical collectors and developers trying to fit their games on it. Just do it digitally. Just or change the format in which you deliver these things. Again, PS5. I've never understood PS5 in general games that come in discs. That's essentially a game keycard as well, because if you put that disc in, all it does is download a file. You're not actually playing the game. Like, you're not actually playing the game off the disc. it's the same thing, but I've seen less discourse around this for PlayStation than Nintendo. And again, it's this whole parasocial thing as well, that people, I feel like they love to personify and humanize a corporation like Nintendo. That they're like, oh, I can't believe they've done this. My good friend Nintendo has stabbed me in the back. They're a company. And again, from the company side, I don't understand why Nintendo's trying to make physical collectors happy and developers happy at the same time. Like, I feel like that compromise of game key cards is doing nothing but giving them bad PR. And like, I hate to defend digital, but believe me, you lose a game cartridge and your game's gone forever. At least with digital, you can re-download it. You can do whatever. And again, if an online store ever stops being supported, better get that MIG flash card. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's I really don't care, is what I'm trying to say with game key cards. If it's a game key card, I'm just not buying it. I'm just going to digital. I don't need more stuff in my shelf. I got too many stuff already as is. Is this where I turn into like a digital only person and kind of like sell all off my physical games? Maybe. I don't know. I think the older you get, the less you care about like collecting things and the more you care about like experiences, in my opinion. So as long as the game's great, I'm gonna buy it probably digital going forward. I just don't know. I'm not even thinking about canceling my DK Bonanza pre-order because I don't feel like going picking it up on that day because it's a Thursday. Who does things on Thursdays besides work? Whatever. It is what it is. But folks, I've been True Fernie. This has been this week's episode of Search and Report. Again, I try and keep these rather short because I like to give the news in bite-sized formats and still, put out some content, put out some videos, and put out some, still me talking about gaming in essence. But folks, this has been Search and Report. I've been your host, True Fernie. Hurst, bro, I have an issue with combining words. It's so bad. I don't know what's going on. I need a speech coach or something because it's been getting worse and worse the older I get. But folks, I've been True Fernie. If you like this video, apologies. If you like this video, if you like this episode of Search and Report, if you're watching on YouTube, please make sure to like and subscribe. If you didn't like this episode, go ahead and give it a thumbs down because believe it or not, every single bit helps. Links to my social down below. Please make sure to follow me on Blue Sky, where I spend most of my waking hours talking about gaming, talking about anime, talking about sports. Right now I got, watching the FIFA Club World Cup. Super exciting. I'm also watching Gold Cup. Super exciting. And we're going to get the Summer League here, the NBA Summer League coming up. So things that I do truly enjoy talking about. Also, if you're an audio listener, if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, please make sure to review us. That helps a lot in the algorithm. And as well, make sure to listen to us on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast from. And follow us on there, as I do upload these in audio format as well for your enjoyment on your morning commutes and whatnot. But folks, please take care of one another. But most importantly, take care of yourself. Unionize. I mean this sincerely. Unionize. There's got to be some fight back. We just can't lay down and just let these companies do this sort of stuff to us, man. A lot of people died for us to have weekends. So let's do their memory right. All right. Again, let me get off my fucking soapbox. That's kind of corny. All right, peace. But you know what I'm saying. Still being very serious. Peace.